Hey everybody, welcome back to another Full Self-Driving Beta video. My name is John, and I document the progress with Full Self-Driving Beta here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. That sound means that beta is turned on. This is my new camera setup. I apologize for the vibration here. It's a bit absurd at the beginning of the video. It does level out a little bit more throughout the video. Please bear with me as I get my setup here running effectively. This is brand new experiment for me, and I'm still trying to get used to all of the features of this basically long pole that I purchased. I'm going to throw a link into the description in case anybody else is interested in getting the same setup for their car. It's 5 suction cups, and it's a long pole. It's about 5 feet long, and it extends way up above my car. I do get a lot of looks driving around with this thing. Right now, it's mounted on the top of my car, and it's pointed almost straight up. I mean, it is as high up as it can possibly go. I thought this would be able to allow me to overlay the graphics in a way that mimicked what the screen displayed, but every effort that I made just didn't line up quite right. You'd think that it would line up just looking at it here on the screen, but unfortunately it just doesn't. The things don't line up like you would think. So I'm going to have to experiment a little bit more with this. I do have it set up with the wide angle on my GoPro Black Hero 7 camera. The hyper smooth stabilization algorithm is something that I think will significantly help. However, I do believe I might need a higher speed SD card. It used to work when I first got the camera, and then it stopped working, and I thought that maybe the camera had glitched. I have since done a factory default reset, and hopefully that will have fixed it, as well as this new SD card that I have coming in the mail. But for now, I'm going to fast forward and get to the most interesting part of this video, which is the unprotected lefts out of the most difficult area in this entire region. It's at this Home Depot parking lot. I've documented this many times in the past. It is fascinating. Now, I take it through here a number of times, and every single attempt, I couldn't get it to fail. It did perfectly. It did the maneuver perfectly every single time. Now, there was one moment when it actually got in the way of another car trying to get out of the parking lot, and it has a bad habit of kind of hogging both lanes. Even though when it's turning left, it needs to get in the far left side of the exit area. You'll see that coming up. So let's fast forward and get right into it. All right, here we are coming out of the parking lot. As you know, I need to get all the way over to the left, and it's doing a fairly decent job here. It's staying over. You can see somebody coming up right behind me. It is attempting to try to go around this car, kind of orienting itself to get in the middle. Makes me a little bit uncomfortable. The car behind me is obviously trying to turn left. The left turn signal goes on, and you can see the creep zone out there in the middle. So it starts to creep. It's clear on the left, comes all the way out. It avoids that car and safely enters the street. Did a really nice job there. No problems at all. Okay, here we come for attempt number 2. You can see it turned on its turn signal here. It's stopping for stop sign. You can see all of these cars in blue that it is yielding to, and it proceeds to go right in the middle here. Thankfully, nobody behind me, but otherwise this would be a very awkward encounter if someone was trying to come out and turn right. This truck turns here. Very tricky situation. So it obviously can't go out because those 2 cars are there. This other car turning left. Now would be a chance to start going. However, I do recall, yes, there's a vehicle coming on the left, another vehicle. So it's patiently waiting for the right moment, and I'm anxiously hovering my foot over the accelerator, ready to kind of push myself out there. Thankfully, nobody behind me putting any pressure. And once that car passes and this car passes, it does clear up. It starts to creep. You can see that car in front of me, another car coming, and I'm like, oh no, is it going to go? And it did. It saw the other lane was empty and went through. Success. So 2 for 2. really successful there. Not bad at all. Here we come for attempt number 3. Coming out here, the turn signal goes on. You can see we've got quite a few cars here in front. It is staying to the left, thankfully. And coming up here, slowing down, stopping for stop sign once again. Thankfully, it swerves over to the left at the last second, making it a lot more comfortable for the approach. Creeping forward for visibility. It is looking both ways. The camera is showing that it's clear on the left. Starts to go, there's a creep zone, and thankfully the path clears up, and we are good to go. 3 for 3. Okay, beta is enabled and turn signal goes on. Again, making a left turn and coming out. Now the lane selection here, you can see it's now kind of in the middle. So it makes me a little bit uncomfortable in case someone comes. Thankfully nobody does and the path is clear. It comes out. Got lucky there with the traffic. No issues once again. 4 for 4. As I mentioned, a lot of looks. These people here are waving. I thought it was hilarious. I feel like a celebrity when I'm taking this camera around. A lot of people staring up at my car, especially in this orientation where it's this high up. I did release a video yesterday where I had it in the back of my car. I personally prefer that setup a little bit more over this one, but I am happy to hear your opinions, whether you like this angle higher up or whether you like it kind of back further and lower where you can see kind of more Grand Theft Auto style of the car. Now I am working on, again, the hyper smooth steady cam capability to be able to smooth that out, so please take that off the table for now. That will be improved, and then once that is improved, the field of view will be much wider, so you'll be able to see a lot more in the lens. Here I'm not using any software stabilization, so it's not zooming in. Thankfully at this position where it's higher up, it was pretty stable. I didn't have too many issues with it jerking around like I did previously. But yeah, please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Here we come, stopping for stop sign. It slows down here, not sure why. And it starts creeping forward. Now look at this, it goes way over to the right, corrects itself, kind of jerking the steering wheel, goes back over to the left, kind of blocking the lane here. I'm hoping that it's clear and we can come out just fine. And thankfully it is. It clears up and it makes the move. It does a really nice job there. That's 5 for 5. Okay, this next one is very awkward. Someone comes up behind me and unfortunately the lane placement is not good at all. You can see as it approaches here, it starts out in the left and then suddenly goes over to the right. The left turn signal is on. Now someone here behind me is trying to get around me, but they can't because my car is blocking them and my car proceeds to go right. I get honked at. Thankfully the car goes out. I didn't have to press on the accelerator, but it was very awkward. But it was successful in the end anyway, so I'm going to give it credit. But again, that lane placement I've reported many times in the past. I really hope to see that improved in the future. 6 for 6. And here we come for the 7th attempt. Stopping for stop sign, left turn signal goes on. Nobody behind me now, so it makes me a little bit more comfortable. Again, it's hugging the center and kind of indicating that it's going to be going to the right, even though it's going left. Not really good placement there, but it makes the move and comes out just fine. So 7 for 7. It does a phenomenal job here. I mean, it used to fail 2 or 3 times out of 7 in the past. It's gotten a lot better here, it seems. But again, I think it really depends on the traffic patterns. You can't draw conclusions unless you test this like hundreds of times, really. But all in all, I'm very pleased with the performance here at this particular intersection. And unprotected lefts have improved significantly over the versions. I think that a lot of that is due to Chuck Cook, by the way. Thank you, Chuck. All right, dialed in for attempt number 8. Here coming forward again, left turn signal goes on. Nobody behind me. Coming forward here, it's going to stop again for the stop sign. Thankfully, it hasn't had any issues with stop signs. I didn't see the message there. It was stopping for the stop sign. And the placement here is a little bit better. We're a little bit further to the left. Not sure how it decides when to get further over to the left versus to the right. It creeps forward. We have one car coming on the right, and it's in the opposite lane. So it makes the move and does a brilliant job once again getting out. 9 for 9. Actually, 8 for 8. Sorry about that. 8 for 8. That's really incredible. So far, so good. I think I do this one more time. You can only do this 8 or 9 times before you really start to go crazy. But it's a lot of fun testing this. Here we are, attempt number 9. Turn signal goes on. Coming over to the left, kind of hesitating. Someone right behind me. I'm crossing my fingers that it doesn't go too far to the right, but they are turning left, so even if I did go to the right, it wouldn't cause that much of a nuisance for them. Now, I'm really hoping that the path clears up and we're good to go. Thankfully, not much traffic coming on the left and not much traffic on the right. Slow to make the maneuver here. There is a car coming, but it was in the other lane. Not sure why it took extra caution there compared to other turns, but it succeeded once again. That's 9 for 9. Beautiful turns. Didn't have any issues for any of them as far as execution once it committed. So very happy with how it's performing here. There are a lot of other scenarios where it does make mistakes, but it's becoming rare, more and more rare for that to happen. So very pleased with the progress. Overall, like I said, I'm happy with how unprotected lefts are operating today, and they have gotten better. I don't know in most recent versions if they've improved incrementally versus previous 11 dot releases, but certainly I'm very pleased and happy with how it's doing right now. That is a very difficult left turn, by the way, for humans driving manually. So to have it automated is really quite incredible. I would never trust it entirely to do that. You will always have to have some sort of monitoring while it's doing that. I can't imagine leaving it unattended. You would get in a lot of trouble. I think either you'd get in a crash or you would get honked at. Someone would get furious and call the cops. Something bad would happen for sure if it was unattended. And that's, again, in the current state. I think in the future it will get better over time, where it will be, you basically have to test it 99.9 times, and it has to succeed every single one of those times. Now, a human is going to make a mistake as well as a robot, but the robot has to get as good as a human, if not better. And Elon has mentioned many times that it will be better than humans. I find that hard to believe as far as happening in the near term. So I'm banking on full self-driving to be fully capable by 2030 or later. I don't see it happening for another 7 to 10 years, to be honest with you. Anyway, thanks a lot so much everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more awesome footage as I get this stabilization going and hopefully make some improvements as well with my setup. Like I said in my previous video, I want to do the augmented reality overlay. That would be so badass to see. Really can't wait to implement that in a successful way. Thanks a lot for all your support. I do have a Patreon site if you enjoy my content. It would really help me justify purchasing an Insta360 camera. Those are really expensive, for me, that is. I know money is relative for a lot of people. I am probably one of the most frugal Tesla owners there is with my 2019 Model 3, so I really appreciate all the support you guys can provide me. It really helps me move forward with my channel and improve my content. Thanks again. Have a great day.